Welcome to happynumbers.org. Today's lesson is on addition of integers or signed numbers when the signs are different. If you remember in the prior lesson, we talked about if we're adding signed numbers and their signs are the same, you just add, you combine the numbers. So 4 and 3 is 7. And then you just use the sign. But it's a little different process when the signs are different. So let's take this problem. Here we have a positive 7 and we have a negative 4, and we're going to add them. So the rule is when you're adding signed numbers, when the signs are different, is you ignore the sign for now. You ignore the signs and you subtract the smaller number. This is the smaller number from the larger number. So I subtract 4 from 7. Well, if I have 7 and I take 4 away, I have 3 left. So you subtract the smaller number from the larger number, and you use the sign of the larger number. Well, the sign of the larger number here, this is the larger number, and we know the sign is positive because there's no sign. So the answer is positive 3. And if you look at a number line, this makes sense. We have 7, and we're going to add to 7 a negative 4. So we're going to move in a negative direction 4 places. So if we're at 7 and we move a negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we get to a positive 3. So let's take a look at some problems like this. Let's have a negative 5 plus a positive 2. Well, according to our rule, we forget the signs for now. We take away the smaller number from the larger number. So 5 take away 2. We have 5 and we're taking 2 away. That gives us 3. And then we use the sign of the larger number, and the sign of the larger number here is negative. So this is negative 3. So a negative 5 plus a positive 2 gives me negative 3. And if we look at our number line, here is a negative 5, and if we move in a positive direction 2 places, 1, 2, we get to negative 3. Let's put up another problem here. Let's have 4 plus a negative 8. Now sometimes the problem may be written like that, and you can just rewrite it 4 plus a negative 8. Okay, now we ignore the signs. Now this is the smaller number, 4, and this is the larger number. So we take the smaller number away from the larger number. So we have 8, and we're going to take 4 away. Well, that gives us 4. And we use the sign of the larger number. Well, 8 was the larger number and the sign was negative. So it's a negative 4. So a positive 4 plus a negative 8 gives us a negative 4. And look at your number line. You have a positive 4, and I'm going to add to it a negative 8. I'm going to move in a negative direction 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there I am at negative 4. Okay, well, I'm going to put up a series of problems for you here, and we'll let you work them. Negative 7 plus 12, I'll let you work that. Negative 6 plus 2 and 7 plus negative 9. Okay, put your DVD or video on pause and work these problems and then turn it back on again. Let's look at this one here. We ignore the signs. We take the smaller number from the larger number. So I'm going to take 7 away from 12. Well, if I have 12 and I take 7 away, I have 5. And now I use the sign of the larger number. Well, the sign of the larger number is 12, and we know that sign is positive, so it's a positive 5. Look at this problem. We ignore the sign. We take the smaller number, 2. We take that away from the larger number, 6. If I have 6 and I take 2 away, I have 4. And I use the sign of the larger number. The larger number is 6. So it's a negative 4. Here I have positive 7. We know that's positive because there's no sign. Plus a negative 9. I ignore the signs. The smaller number is 7, so I take 7 away from 9. That gives me 2. I use the sign of the larger number, minus 2. And now let's look at the number line here. We have a negative 7. And I'm going to move in a positive direction 12 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I wind up at positive 5. Here I have negative 6. I'm going to move in a positive direction because this is positive 2 spaces. 1, 2 gives me a negative 4. Here I have a positive 7, and I'm going to move in a negative direction 9 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Answer is negative 2. Excellent. You might encounter a problem like this. Negative 3 plus a positive 2 plus a negative 3. Well, no, let's make this a negative 6. So now we have 3. We have a negative 3 plus positive 2 plus a negative 6. And actually, I don't even need to put this here because if there's no sign, we know it's positive. Well, the way I work this is I'll do this piece first. Negative 3 plus positive 2. I ignore the sign. I take the smaller number from the larger. So I have 3 and I take 2 away. That gives me 1. And I use the sign of the larger number, which is negative. So now this, when I add these two together, I get a negative 1 plus now a negative 6. And we know from the first lesson, if the signs are the same, we just combine the numbers. 6 and 1 is 7, and we use the common sign. Let me put a problem up there for you and see. Let's try this. Negative 7 plus negative 3 plus 8. That's a positive 8. Okay, put your video on pause, work this problem, and then turn it back on again. All right. Here we have a negative 7 plus a negative 3. Well, the signs are the same, so I just combine the numbers. 7 and 3 is 10, and I use the common sign. So this part of the problem becomes negative 10. Negative 10 plus a positive 8. Okay. I have a negative 10 plus a positive 8. I know I ignore the signs. I take the smaller number 8 away from 10. So 10, whoop. My time is up. Okay, I have 10 and I take 8 away. That gives me 2, and I use the sign of the larger number, which is a negative. And let's look at the number line on that one. I have a -7, and I'm going to add to it in a negative direction 3 more. 1, 2, 3. I wind up with a -10. And now I'm going to add in a positive direction 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I wind up with a -2. Okay, again, a review. If the signs are the same, if we're adding integers and the signs are the same, we just combine the numbers, -4, -3. We just combine the numbers, 4 and 3 is 7, and we use the common sign. If the signs are different, let's say -6 plus 3. If the signs are different, we ignore the signs, we take the smaller number 3 away from the larger number 6. That would give us 3, and we use the sign of the larger number. So those are the 2 rules for addition of signed numbers. You might want to do some practice on this on your own, or get someone to help you, or maybe get a math workbook that has some problems in it, so that this you'll get to be very fluent at the skill. Well, thank you very much. See you next time.